Okay, welcome. Oops, no response. No response. Oh, okay. I see. This is this is working. So welcome everybody. Um, I plan to do an hour-long live stream to celebrate that uh, we reached 70,000 followers, and I'm so grateful for all of you because this wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here and on Instagram. So let me know in the chat if everything is working well. I don't know. It is very weird because I don't hear you guys. I'm just basically talking to the camera here. So if everything is working, it looks like I have like a 10-second delay. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments and I will try my best to answer them. I'm a bit nervous here. So I have the camera set up there. I have my laptop here trying to make sure that uh, everything is working well. Somebody says no video. I'm not sure. And I have my iPad here to read the comments. So this is very new for me to go live, and uh, I mean, at least on YouTube I've never done this, so this is the first time. Be go easy on me because we just have to start sometimes. So what I wanted to talk about is, I think many of us space enthusiasts get attacked by other people that we shouldn't go to Mars and we should save Earth. And I just want to explain my thoughts on this a little. So thank you so much, Gerard Lopez Lopez. Um, it is so good to be able to inspire people, and this is what this whole channel is about, to be able to help you guys with information as well as inspiration. So uh, this feels really good that uh, you are grateful for what I'm doing here. So what I wanted to say is, um, I don't know about you, because people, when they ask me like what do I do, um, I usually tell them about this Marsternauts thing, and they just they can't even wrap their head around this. So I get into this debate almost every day. Uh, so I just want to prepare you a little bit. Basically, the big arguments for this whole thing is, one is being, we have a lot of problems here on Earth, so we shouldn't be focusing on going to Mars, because it for some reason people think that it's either one of these, so you cannot do both. Uh, I don't know why they think that, but it could be for money problems, uh, and the thing is, basically, what Elon Musk replied to me on Twitter is that we could have a self-sustaining colony on Mars for around $100 billion to $10 trillion, which is a big range and it is a lot of money. But compared to how much it would cost to solve all the problems here on Earth, which include a lot of plastic pollution. It includes global warming, uh, species going extinct, as well as overpopulation. So they just don't fit in the scale. So even if we could put all the budget of NASA and SpaceX and all the space companies together, we wouldn't be able to solve anything. So the budget to actually do this, and from that money you can buy human work. It's just not on that scale. I'm not sure about how much it would actually cost to solve global warming, but I think it's at least 3 magnitudes more pricey than that. So I'm going to read a few comments here. Uh, did you ever work for any space company? No. As an employee, I haven't, and I wasn't in any kind of internship or something. What I did work for a space company was AI Space Factory, and I helped them create Instagram and Facebook content for 2 months. So that was, I think, one of the best 2 months of my life, because I could see how they work, and I could understand how much effort it takes to build up a startup in the space tech industry. And I've seen their sweat, and I've seen their happy moments as well. So it was a very good experience to help them create content. But I don't know in the future if I would love to work as an employee for a space company. What I'm thinking right now, and the way I see my life is, I would like to push the frontiers of online education, and I would like to be able to create a platform that can help people from all around the world to find a lot of free educational content on YouTube, and in a podcast format, and as articles and free ebooks, and basically to be able to fight this whole system that somebody has to pick you in order to be able to get into a university. So what I think my life will be, I think as an entrepreneur, I will try to push this. I want to create courses for you, and I want to just put out as much content as possible, and be able to help wherever you are, whether you are in the US or you are in India or New Zealand. You should have the opportunity to learn what you want to learn for free. So I think this is how I will try to help this world. Hmm. Do you think Elon? So this is a question. This is a juicy one from Umar Rockstar. I don't know. You said that video is lagging too much. Uh, if there is, just please comment if you see any problem with the video. I don't know if I will be able to solve it, because I just have my MacBook for this, and Macs are well known to be bad for live streaming and gaming. So if you see the video lagging, or the audio is not good, then just let me know in the comments, so I will try to fix it. So Umar Rockstar asks, do you think Elon would join its first Mars trip with others? Well, I know for a fact that he wouldn't, and the reason being is that among the first few settlers on Mars, we will need to have people who are not only smart, but are good employees, and who can obey the rules, and or obey commands. They are good team workers, and they can help each other, and they are good with human labor. Now, I'm not saying that Elon is not good in these kinds of things, but what he is tremendous at is that he is um, basically probably the smartest billionaire on the world. And what this makes him uh, is to be a visionary, where he can, he is like a super fast learner. So I think I've read it in his biography that whenever somebody talks to him, he asks very good questions, and he can basically understand like 90% of what you're doing from a few questions. And he's not asking questions to try to humiliate you or test you, but he's actually asking questions to learn. So that makes him like an information sponge. And these people are best put in executive roles, and they are the best if they can freely create, and they can freely think, and as a leader try to help others see this vision. Now, if we send him to Mars, all of the time all of his time would be spent worrying about how the colony would be uh, organized, how they would survive to the next day, and all of this stress from the Martian environment would be basically put on him, because he would be the leader there. And I think that would really inhibit him from doing the great work he is doing here. So no, I don't think that he will go, unless he sees that he can put in more value into the world by going there rather than staying here. So right now, and I think in the next 20 to 30 years, he will stay on Earth. I mean, Elon, if you're watching this, just make sure to correct me or contact me on any kind of way you can find. I'm interested in what you have to think about this, or what you think about this. But so I think these leader types of people, these visionaries, basically geniuses, shouldn't go to Mars, because the chance of them dying is much higher on Mars than it is here on Earth. So it's just not safe, and we need to be able to keep these super minds safe here on Earth. Okay, so I hear another question here. What's your opinion on ESA, about Mars exploration, and about Ariane program? Now, as I'm concerned, and as a Hungarian medical student, um, I was looking for opportunities to get involved with ESA programs, and what I found is that they are really hardworking on the lunar side of space exploration. So uh, I'm subscribed to their newsletter, and I try to keep myself updated with all the news regarding them. But I haven't seen big news or big plans about their human Mars exploration plans and ideas. So as far as I know, they are working on the moon bases, and they're trying to figure out these 3D printing techniques to be able to build a base. They are doing tremendous work, and I think they will be a very strong factor in terms of humans settling on the moon. But I don't see their plans. Maybe I'm wrong. So if you have any info, info on these, just make sure that you comment below. But uh, so that's what I have. That's what I know. Mm. Very juicy questions from or question from Olastan Baksas. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Uh, you're asking, if you are a medical student, what makes you so interested in space? Now, um, this is a very good question, and it gives me an opportunity to talk to you about how this whole thing started. And basically, when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I wasn't watching Cartoon Network or Tales or like Mickey Mouse or whatever on the TV, but instead I was watching the Discovery Channel and National Geographic. And what I found out is that I was fascinated by space, and I learned a lot from these documentaries about space, and I knew more about black holes and stars and planets than what I knew about like general human stuff as a 4 year old. So I was really that's basically how my parents realized that I was interested in science, and they were amazing at nurturing this and helping me to you know to make sure that I can follow my passion, and I'm super grateful for that for them. And and then in like high school, I was I was competing in mathematics and physics. I attended competitions, and then when I went to what's that? Sorry, I wanted to say elementary school. So at the age of like 13 or 14, I was doing these maths competitions. But when I got into high school at the age of 14, I a little bit shifted away from space, and because I falsely thought that I just couldn't make a living being an astronomer, which is a very false belief that I had. So if you want to be an astronomer and you think you can't make a living, then you're wrong. So that's a decision that I still regret. Or no, I don't really regret it, because the way my life turned out is actually good. But what happened is, in high school, I didn't focus a lot on mathematics and physics, but instead I had a very great teacher. She was a chemistry and biology teacher, and she made me fall in love with chemistry and biology. So, and as my mother is a doctor, uh, for some reason I thought that being a doctor would be good for me. And uh, I graduated from high school. I got applied to the medical school, and when you get to medical school, people usually just ask you all the time, like, do you know what kind of doctor you will be? And this question always gave me a lot of stress, because I didn't really know. What I knew is that I wanted to help people. That was my goal. But you know, basically, medicine was probably the best thing that that I saw could help people. And when I was in like second grade or so, I found this field called space medicine, and I was like, oh my god, I wasn't really focusing on space for like 6 years now. I dropped my dream of becoming an astronomer, and then there's this field. Like I instantly felt that this was a medical field for me, and I realized that that is the only medical field for me. So then, what happened is, I was doing student research at a laboratory and I was researching the effects of smoking in pancreatic cell function, which has nothing to do with space exploration. And I was doing that for 2.5 years, and then I quit working there, and I wanted to find ways to try to spend my free time with space exploration and space medicine, to be specific. And as as Hungarians, we don't have a space program. There are some ways to be able to launch your little CubeSat, and we have a few satellites, but uh, it is not in the culture like it is in the U.S. So we don't have any uh, we didn't have any way to work in space medicine here in my university city. There is an institute for aviation and space medicine uh, in in the University of Szeged, but they have their institution in another city that is like an hour car drive from here. So I reached out to them, and they said that there aren't really any space exploration research that I could join, because they are only working on aviation research, and they had a laboratory for space medicine research, but they just closed it because there was no real interest for that. So that's when I was like really stuck emotionally, because I want you know I wanted to be able to put in as much effort as I can during my university years, to make sure um, that my career after university will be a good one. And I highly recommend any university student to just go, and if you have a field that interests you, just find a lab that somebody is working there, and where you can work on a field that interests you, and try to just understand how science works, how to put together an experiment, how to analyze data. Um, I think I've drifted a little from what I wanted to say, but um, yeah. So that I really recommend for everybody to do that. So what I wanted to say is, oh my god, I forgot where I was. Oh yeah. So um, so I was spending my days going to school and then coming home, and um, nothing was really occupying my mind instead of a few books about space medicine. And then I figured that I was already making videos for Instagram, for my uh, for my personal page, and I decided that I will make space related content. And that's when I first I talked to my brother, and he was already working in the social media marketing field, and he just recommended me that maybe I should just look into trying to buy an Instagram account, because uh, it is technically illegal, but it is worth the investment, because then you don't have to try to get to the first 10k followers, or you don't have to really badly, because this is more like a compounding effect, that in the beginning you grow very slow, even though you put in the work, and then after that it starts to grow more. So I bought a space account, and I really felt it wasn't for me. So I posted a few stuff, and then I decided that I will start a brand new page, and I'm going to just use this bigger account to actually promote it. And I think some of you might have come from that account, and that's how Marstronauts was born. And basically, then all of my free time was I finally found something to actually be able to do in my free time, and to keep me inspired and to keep me working towards something. And this it gave me an outlet to be part of this space exploration thing. So, and that was around October and November last year, and basically now we are here at the end of August, the end of summer, and yeah, you probably know the rest of the story. Oh my God, it's very hot in here. I think it's around 28 degrees Celsius. I don't have an AC. I'm literally sweating. I have this big light here, and it's very hot. But whatever. Uh, I will try to. If you have a question, just make sure you just drop them in the comments below. So, I don't know if I'm seeing the live chat here. Give me a second, please, guys. Unknown says, say hi to me. Hi, unknown. Roger asks, what's your opinion of Russian medical no-fly list? Well, I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to quickly Google that. Okay. I think this must be like a list for people who are not allowed to actually fly. Roger, can you tell me more about this medical no fly list? I haven't heard of it. Katrignaren asks, what's up for Mastronauts in upcoming season? I think we should make a season from September, season 1. That would be cool. So what I plan to do is I want to have more like these talking or these Q&A sessions about Mars and things related, like in a live YouTube version. I also want to get more organized in terms of creating articles, podcasts, and videos. So in the future or in the upcoming season, I want to focus more on that. Luckily, I've worked hard to put this studio together with the backdrop and the lighting and these lights and the camera. And I had a lot of problems with actually making sure that the audio is synced up, but hopefully it is right now. So yeah, right now the gear is ready. So now I just have to overcome my fear of putting something out there and my fear of being judged. So that's what I'm working on right now, actually. And I just have more and more motivation to actually do it and actually pull it off. So that's what I want to do in the upcoming season. And now, as I'm talking about it, it seems very stupid that I actually have this fear. And maybe it's just my inner negative voice saying me this. So yeah, that's what's up. I want to keep coming the Instagram content. Some of you have probably seen that I'm working more on these carousel posts that you can swipe through and get. I try to do these because I want to get deeper into sharing the knowledge. So hopefully that helps a little. Um, and also, if you are interested in joining a group that I've put together on Facebook, where we can share articles with each other or share news, and then we can have a discussion in the comments. There are more than 80 people joined, so if you want to, just go to the description below. I've included the link, and you can find many other links there as well. So just join the Marsternauts crew. It is a Facebook group. It's completely free, um, and I just want to, you know, try to how do I say this? Try to collect some information and try to collect a group of like-minded people, a group that I would actually I would have needed like a year ago, and now as I have this opportunity to actually create this group, I went out and did it. So I will try to get more conversational there, and then we can have a debate. It's much more structured than an Instagram feed where I just publish images and then it's hard to get back to it. Like an image from a few days ago gets so down in the news feed that if I leave a comment, it doesn't come up. But in a Facebook group, if you leave a comment in, then it comes up again to the top, and so we can keep the discussion going, and you get the notification, you can reply, and then we can get a thread. So that's what's up for next year, or like this year and next year. When is the next video coming up on this channel? Well, sucks. I don't know if you do pronounce it as Saksham, or I think so. Yeah. Sorry if I can't pronounce your name. I try. Saksham Sood. When is the next video coming up on this channel? Um, I don't know. Honestly, what I want to do is I want to put up a video maybe every week, maybe every 2 weeks about a topic. So right now I'm in more like the research phase to get more data and more information about Mars, and to collect some articles that are published or are in the news. So I can structure something, I can think it through, and then I can publish it. So I don't have a deadline set for this. Maybe I should, but you can expect a video coming next month. I'm not sure when. I will try my best to actually do this, but that's what I plan to do on this channel. So make sure, if you aren't subscribed, just make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to get a notification when I post. But don't worry about it. I will send, like, I will update a story or something about a new video that I put out, so you won't miss it. If you have any ideas on new content that you want to see, or you want to hear what I think about that, just drop them in the comments, and I have my notepad here, so I can make notes on what the next video or the next videos should be about. You also asked, what do you find most fascinating about space? What do I find most fascinating about space? You know, I don't really think about this so often, but if I think about it right now, and as you're asking this, um, I think it's just the sheer size, like how big it is. Um, Being a human being, we usually measure things in meters, like in our everyday living spaces, or maybe kilometers if we travel abroad. And then when you you know try to think about space stuff, you have to measure things in light years and millions of kilometers. And to me, that's just, I sometimes I just feel like the end of my skull is here, and I just can't think more. So to me, that's the most fascinating thing about space. And if you think about how many stars there are, even just in the Milky Way galaxy, but everywhere uh, in space, I just I just think it is impossible to not have some life somewhere. So I'm I can't say I'm 100% certain, but I'm like 95% sure that there is some kind of life form um, somewhere else in this universe, either waiting to be discovered, or if they are, if the evolution of life is a general process or a general phenomenon that we have here on Earth, it is general throughout the universe, then I just don't see why they wouldn't be intelligent, and maybe they have the ability to actually be able to contact us. Hopefully, they are not malicious, so they don't want to destroy us. And for like a big enlightened species, I I don't think that they would try to actually try to destroy us. So their intent wouldn't be to destroy us. Maybe they would just see us in the way of their exploration. So then they will just don't care about us. But to me, that's the most fascinating thing, is that there there probably is another, or maybe more, intelligent civilizations throughout the world, or throughout the universe. And it's just crazy even to think about this, that we are not alone. Or if we are alone, then that's also fascinating, and it opens up all the opportunities that we can have to go out there and explore. Neo asked, I am currently in high school in Germany, and my biggest goal is to participate in the Mars mission. How do I best prepare? Okay, this is a very good question, Neo. Thank you so much for sending this in. Um, there are two parts of your life that you no, three parts, actually two and a half. The first one is your physical health, so your fitness, and to be able to you know keep yourself healthy and improve your overall endurance and power and muscle mass and bone density. You have to you have to learn how to lift weights properly with correct technique. And then what you need to focus on is to get stronger, because when selecting people for Mars missions, their their starting bone mass and muscle mass will probably be a crucial factor for selecting candidates. So if you have bigger muscle mass and bigger bone density than the other guys, or girls, I'm not just saying this to you, but for everybody, then you will have a higher chance of being selected. Oh my God, there's like a bug here. um, Another thing would be regarding physical health, would be to make sure that you don't have any diseases. And that means that you should take really good care of yourself, especially in winter. Try not to get cold, um, and then focus on your eating habits so you don't develop diabetes, you don't develop high blood pressure, you can keep your body fat low, so you're overall healthy. And and then professionally, that would be the second part. Professionally, what I recommend is that if you're still in high school, uh, spend a lot of time on making a list of things that are your professional goals. What I what I did, and this helped me a lot, is that make a list of 25 things that are your goals in terms of professional life. So, like, let's say you want to win a Nobel Prize, you just write it down, and then try to think of all of your personal goals and fill up the list. And once that's done, you will have to circle the top three, or sorry, the top five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that are your top goals. So those, if you have circled them, those will go on the list of my top 5 life goals professionally. And then, which is really hard, the other 20 will go to the top 20 avoid at all costs goals. So whenever you do something, you are not allowed to spend any time on your 20 things to avoid list, but you're only allowed to spend time on your top 5 goals. Excuse me. And I know I've said, okay, I want to talk a bit more about the professional part. So if you're still in high school, so you will go to university soon. But even in high school, you can do that. So what I recommend you do is to uh, just read things about uh, the topics that interest you. So, for example, for me, if it was space medicine, I would go out and Google all the space medicine books that I can find. I would buy them, and then I would just read. So make sure that you expand what it is that you know on the subject, and these don't have to be very well written textbooks from universities. These can be like uh, general books about these topics. They don't have to be very difficult, because then you would have a very hard time understanding them, and that's not the point. The point is to try to broaden your knowledge on these topics, and then what it will do is two things. You, first of all, you will be able to figure out if that is actually for you. And second of all, you will get a lot of knowledge. You will understand what the big problems are in that field. So you will be more and more motivated to work in the field and to actually uh, be successful in an academic career. Now I know if you go to university, the same thing applies, but you also need to try to join the student groups, maybe join competitions in this field, try to find a lab where you can work. Sorry, my gut is like killing me. So it only happens when I talk a lot. So anyways, mm, I again lost my line of thoughts, but yes. So try to find a workplace where you can just where you can intern. Just get in there, Try to understand what the people are doing in like a research lab. Just try to get as close to the people that you admire as possible. So if you're in high school, if you read a book about, um, for example, engineering rocket engines, then you apply to university, and if you're lucky, there are people working on that as researchers. Or in engineering school, you might get a project, or you might have a professor. So then try to get as close to the professor as you can. Try to genuinely help them with their things, and this way you can find a mentor for yourself who can help you professionally to improve. Uh, and the you know the I know I said three things, or like two and a half, because the the third thing would be the mindset, and you need to work on that, and it is completely controllable. Whenever you have like a negative inner thought, it is 100% sure that somebody else put that in your head, so it's not your own voice. So then what you need to spend time on is actually figuring out um, how to get positive thoughts in your head. Make sure that you listen to podcasts that inspire you. There is like the NASA Houston. We have a podcast that is great, and they usually invite experts in a field, so you can listen to how they think, try to adopt their thinking and their mindset, and just make sure that whatever you consume, it improves you instead of lowers your state of mind, or your mindset. So you are in full control of what's going on in your brain, because whatever you consume on the internet, if you feel like it's not helping you get closer to the goals, then just block them, unfriend people. You can unsubscribe, unfollow, whatever. The thing is um, to just try to be as positive as you can possibly be. And um, I said two and a half, because if you can change your mindset into a more positive and more optimistic mindset, then it will have an effect on your workout routines. It will have an effect on your diet. It will have an effect on what you do professionally. So fixing your mindset is crucial. And I'm not saying it's broken, but if you feel like that, you think it is impossible, or you just don't know how to do it, then uh, in the world we are living in, you can Google things, and then you can figure everything out. So what I recommend is, as to summarize this whole rant is, one would be take very good care of your body and try to improve your fitness as much as possible. The second would be to make sure that professionally you constantly try to improve, and you do something that you really love. You don't do something that would get you on the Mars mission. Do something that you love. And the third would be to have a positive mindset on these things. Guys, just make sure that you drop your questions. I think my stream is lagging. So, oh my God, Gerard Lopez, you are asking very juicy questions, and I have to admit I'm not up to date on these things. Um, do you think that the spaceport that Virgin Galactic built Did they actually build a spaceport? Oh my god, I feel ashamed. I'm not familiar with these things. Means something for the community, or it's just some marketing campaign. Well, I'm going to write this down, and I have to look this up. Um, Gerard, if you are on Instagram, make sure you send me a DM so I can answer this question there. Oh my God, I have to write this down. Sorry guys, I can't know everything. But what I have here, and I wanted to show you, is this. It just arrived a few days ago. I ordered it from Amazon, and this is like a very dense book, guys. Uh, I mean, Zubrin writes a lot of amazing things in this. It is very dense and it is very, very researched. So, it is like what 350 pages. I mean, look at this. They have he did the job. Like he researched everything. Equations for modeling the Martian system. And then he has all of these, like, we can estimate the average temperature on Mars as a function of the CO2 atmospheric pressure and the solar constant using the following equation. And then he writes, temperature mean equals 213.5 s to the power of 0.25 plus 20 1 plus s p to the power of 0.5. So, like, I hope you can see this. This book is amazing. Look at that. Colonization of Mars compared to America. I'm super excited to read this book, The Case for Mars. It is a 2011 edition. I think it's like a second edition or something, like a revised. Yeah, it is a revised edition. I mean, I feel like, I just peeked into it. I feel like I'm so dumb. Hola, I'm reading that book too. The this is The Case for Mars, and he has The Case for Space. That's also an amazing book. But what I found is that it's he's saying things more about the space exploration part of humanity, and I really want to focus on Mars specifically. So this is a great book, and I'm super excited about books, by the way. So what I also ordered is Kim Stanley Robinson, The Red Mars, which is fiction. So I bought this to the science fiction novel to be able to actually relax and turn off, but still stay inspired. And then you've guessed it, The Green Mars. This will be part 2, and I have the Blue Mars as well. So I'm going to spend a lot of time reading these. Whenever I have something interesting, I'm going to share it with you. Hopefully you will like it too. Gerard, you say you're 17 years old, so you don't know if you could keep up with all the info. I mean, just hold on for a second. So you're I hope you're talking about this book. The way it is structured is that I've actually jumped in and read things, and he explains like everything. So there is no there are not many things that he thinks that you already know in this book. I will probably write a review after I finished it, but from the first a few hours I spent with this, it seems like that uh, he is a great educator, and he explains basically everything in the book. And if you don't understand something, then you have to try to actually teach yourself. So then you would just underline something that you don't know, and then after your reading session, maybe you look it up on Wikipedia and then you learn it. Because all of these things are Googleable. I don't know if that's actually a term, but you can just look these things up. So amazing book. And the thing I like about books is that um, whenever somebody writes a book, just think about, they will put in all of their life experience, their knowledge, and all of their heart into writing a book to make sure that it is what they want it to be, and it is a good one. So if you spend 10, 15, or $20 buying a book, you can basically pick somebody else's brain. And going back to what I said to Neo, a very good way to try to make your mindset better is if you try to surround yourself with people you want to be like, because we human beings, we are said to be the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. Sorry. And that's completely true. So if you don't have 5 people that you look up to, you can spend time with 1 or 2 people that really get you in the good mood and they get you motivated. And then for the other 3 people, you just read their books and then you can pick their brain. And that's what I do a lot of times. You can find YouTube videos, you can find podcasts from people who you admire, and then you can just broaden your brain. And in a few years, people will look at you like, oh my god, like how is he so knowledgeable in these things, and how does he have such a positive mindset? And it's just a byproduct of your interest and your uh, excitement about these topics, and you actually putting in time to learn these things. Uh, Ola says, I tried reading Red Mars. For me, it was not that good because it spans over such a long time. What I really recommend is 2001's A Space Odyssey. Okay. Um, I don't know about Red Mars. I it was recommended to me by many people, so I just bought it. I will start reading it, and hopefully I will like it. Hopefully it's going to keep me interested. Uh, I watched the 2001 Space Odyssey movie uh, like a year ago or so with a friend of mine, and now that was a slow movie. Like it was created in the 60s or 70s, and there is like no speech in the first 30 minutes, and it takes like forever to tell basically a short story. But in back in the time, it was something phenomenal, and I still highly recommend it for people to watch it. It is not going to be uh, not even close to the Avenger movies or something, that, or like Star Wars, that they have a lot of amazing effects. But I hope it will just make you think. And in the end, I think that's important to find something that, or consume something that is worth thinking about and worth talking about. So I recommend that movie, although not for the entertainment it can give, but more like the thoughts for the next day. Okay, I have time for one more question. So if you want to ask anything, just drop it in the chat, and I will try my best to answer it, and then I'm going to sign off because I plan to do this an hour long, and I'm getting a bit tired. I can feel my throat, like I'm not used to speaking this much. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. Uh, hopefully hopefully I can answer. Well, if there aren't any questions, then thank you so much for being here and spending this hour with me. Um, if you liked, this kind of content or this kind of engagement, then reach out to me, let me know, and I will try to do more of these in the future. And just thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the attention. Thank you for liking and commenting and sharing the posts. I really appreciate it. So I will try to make more content in audio format so you can consume it on the go, and I will try my best to make more YouTube videos as well. I cannot and I don't want to promise anything, but when it gets done, hopefully you will like it. So thank you so much for being here, and I was David, and I will see you the next time. Bye bye.